Well, geez, I never thought I would actually end up reviewing games on this channel, let alone a Call of Duty game would be my first, but you know what, I was lucky enough to get a review code and I wanted to test my skills as a writer and a critic to see if my skills from the world of comics could translate to the world of games, and here we are. I guess a good a place as any to start when talking about the COD series is to mention my own personal history with the games. I think like most people my age, it was Modern Warfare that served as my gateway into the series, and I have many fond memories of both campaign and online matches. I never truly did become a Call of Duty diehard, though I would pop in and out of the series from time to time, maybe renting every other game that came out. I will say though, Treyarch always did try and keep the series fresh and interesting to me, especially as someone who actually does play war FPSs for the story most of the time, which I know that's tantamount to saying, oh, I watch porn for the story too. The Black Ops series to me actually did manage to weave an interesting narrative between all the different titles involving conspiracies and ultimate histories, and when I heard the fourth outing would end up taking the ballsy and risky move of dumping campaign mode entirely, I was a little disappointed, but I'm happy to say after playing the game, Black Ops 4 does indeed have a storyline that continues the saga of the Mason and Woods families. They just pack the story into some rather interesting and unexpected places, as well as offering some cool callbacks in the form of characters, skins, and even maps. What I'm trying to say here is there is indeed a tale to be told, but to get the full breadth of it, you're going to have to play all the tutorial missions for each of the game's brand new specialists. What are specialists? Well, it's Black Ops 4's attempt to breathe new life into the standard Call of Duty class system by giving each of them cool code names, special gadgets, and backstories straight out of a more adult G.I. Joe cartoon.
Hey, you with the fancy haircut. Your call sign is Prophet. The Tempest electrocutes the enemy on contact and chains out the fry's pails, too. Ah! Seeker is a rolling shock mine. Finds and paralyzes the nearest enemy. Now that's sweet.
Basically, we duct taped a taser
One
to
shot,
an
multiple
RC car.
kills.
And trust me, as a lax Call of Duty player, having my handheld in these tutorial modes were a godsend. For the record, I gravitated towards Firebreak as my main avatar. He's a burly, silent, gas mask wearing freak show who's allowed to flash fry other players with a flamethrower and also use a tiny little nuclear generator to help you kamikaze larger groups of foes.
Kamikaze! Kamikaze! Die, Nits! Die! Kamikaze! Got you!
I'm not ashamed to say I died a lot trying to get back on the online FPS saddle, but even though I lost a ton, I never felt like the game was being unfair to me. Yes, some players had played much longer, were higher level, but the new specialist abilities like the flamethrowers that I mentioned made me feel that if I just tried a little harder next time, I could turn the tide of battle in mine and my team's favor. In a way, the new Call of Duty learns a lot of very important lessons from the Overwatch series, and it shows. Leveling up is the same as it ever was. You play modes, gain experience, change your equipment loadout, and personalize your tag. I was told the ability to go prestige is strangely absent, but I was never going to make it to that level anyway, so I'm not going to hold it against the game. The guns all felt pretty balanced to me, but I noticed by the end if I wasn't taking the flak jacket perk, I would die much sooner. It should also be noted that health doesn't auto-regen like in past Call of Duty games. You have to manage that on your own using medkits, which adds a whole other layer of strategy to the game. Of course, the biggest new thing in Black Ops 4 is the much touted Blackout mode, a 100-person online battle royale where the last player standing wins. And if that sounds a lot like Fortnite, it totally should. Players get dropped in, get to choose their own starting points, scavenge for weapons, and the game map is actually much more colorful and vibrant than you might expect from a normal Call of Duty map. Now in the title for this video, I asked the all-important question, is Call of Duty still relevant in a post-Fortnite PUBG world? And the makers of Black Ops 4 definitely seem to want to meet that question head on and prove why for over a decade they were the top dog in online shooters, even if tastes have changed in the last little bit. They do offer up a number of interesting twists on the Battle Royale formula. For one, you can pick up different types of attachments for your weapons and customize it to your liking. Same goes for different types of armor to help survivability. There's also also a small number of vehicles to help you get around the map faster, although the extra noise does indeed make you something of a sitting duck in a mode where sound is still very, very important. I found Blackout games tended to be a lot faster paced than your average game of Fortnite. Maybe that's because there's more weapon combinations on offer, maybe it's because Call of Duty players are just deadlier than Fortnite players, or maybe the fact that there's nothing to build means that you really want to get in there and kill as many other players as possible. I don't know if anything at this point could hope to unseat the pop culture juggernaut that is Fortnite, but then again, Fortnite only became what it did by pure accident. Black Ops is in my mind by far the most polished, most enjoyable attempt at making a battle royale game to date, and with time and updates, there's really no telling what it could become. Then of course there's this year's Zombie Mode, a co-op favorite of mine that has more than gained a rabid cult following all its own in the past few years. This installment sees you play as a crew of colorful thieves, Scarlet, Bruno, Diego, and Shaw, trying to steal an evil relic from evil forces. You get 3 maps to start with, one based off the Titanic, one set in a gladiator arena, and one in the belly of Alcatraz prison with more cameos.
Hey, is it just me or does Bruno look like Liev Schreiber? I know in the past the zombie games have done a lot to try and, incorporate actors and, famous horror movie icons and everything. I cannot be the only one who thinks this dude looks like Liev Schreiber.
This year's offering also has a ton of new options to tweak your playstyle in zombie mode than ever before, with different tonics, weapons loadouts, perks, the ability to pick your difficulty level and have bots help you out if you have no friends. And again, if you play like me, you're gonna need all of these things to up your survivability. And if you're old-handed zombies, you'll be happy too, because there's a ton of Easter eggs and secrets to uncover too. So those are the major modes of Black Ops 4, and I'm not underselling it when I say that each of them offers about a whole game's worth of content just on their own, complete with their own levels too. I feel that this means no matter what kind of Call of Duty fan you are or what attracted you to the 4th installment in this long-running series, you really can't lose, be it to see how they spin Battle Royale as a genre, the fresh start and new stories of the zombie modes, or if you just want to play Deathmatch for the millionth time, I don't think you're going to be disappointed.